Now, lithium is hot at the moment, and as a battery metal, it's hitting the headlines left, right, and center. We're talking now to a company that is exploring for lithium in the States. It's the AIM-listed Bradda Head Lithium. Its focus, as I said, on these projects in the US. We're talking now to the chief executive, Charles FitzRoy. Charlie, good to talk to you. Thanks indeed for your time today. And in fact, today we've seen some updated assay results, which I'd like to get on to in just a few moments' time. But let's first of all take a look at the company and what it is you're presenting to investors as a lithium explorer.
Yes, morning, Jeremy. We listed last year, as you said, on the AIM market, had a very good IPO. We also listed, cross-listed last week on the OTC. So now we've got a US cross-listing. Bradda is a unique lithium junior. It has three types of lithium mineralization: pegmatites, brines, and also sedimentary assets, all located in Arizona and Nevada. These assets are all 100% owned by the company, and we're developing all three projects at the same time. We finished one drill program end of November last year, which is a resource going to come out in Q1 this year. And then we're actually drilling another part of our sedimentary assets as well, and a resource from that will be out in Q2. So a lot's going on. And we've also got other programs going on as well. We're drilling at our pegmatite assets in Q2 this year, and then the brines will be drilling in H2 this year as well. So a lot going on with the company. Big year ahead for 2022, and 2021 was a good build year for us as a company. So a lot of results and cash lists through this year coming.
What makes Bradda Head so different in what is becoming a very interesting market? As I said, we've got this rise in lithium prices, and I think we're not too far away from record highs, if indeed not at those levels currently. What puts Bradda Head above or makes it different from others in the sector?
It's really going back to that three mineralization types. Most lithium explorer juniors have 1 to 2 types of lithium mineralization. We have all three. So we've got the brines, the pegmatites, and the sedimentary assets. Generally, brine assets are found in South America, pegmatites are found in Australia, and then most of the developing sedimentary assets are all in the US or Mexico, like Bacanora or American Lithium up in Nevada. So that's what makes us different. I think we have three different types. It spreads our risk and also gives us better upside from what we're doing right now.
And of course, the other thing I know that a lot of criticism has been leveled at the industry for allowing so much of the lithium and similar sort of battery plays to go into Chinese hands. So I guess as a London listed company, you are an interesting part of this particular area of the market. Just explain what is happening at the moment in the lithium market, particularly vis-a-vis China, and what you will be doing in order to try and remain independent.
Yes, well, like a lot of interesting metals, Chinese are getting a lot of stakes within battery metals like copper, cobalt, nickel, and they are involved in companies like Bacanora. Bacanora is recently bought up by Ganfeng. Other lithium explorers and developers in the US have got quite large portions from their shareholdings in the Chinese company. But I think what's going on in the lithium industry is a lot of consolidation. Also, there's other companies like Sibanye-Stillwater who are buying up other assets. And there is a lot of companies looking out there to try and consolidate on lithium plays, because I think lithium is in some ways comparable to iron ore. You do need a large amount of it to be able to supply and also work the metrics. But I think the fact that you've got these companies who are trying to consolidate, because the end user is the auto manufacturers, the battery manufacturers, they want one specification product coming to them. So it actually makes sense to have larger players consolidating the assets and supplying these end users.
How much of what you've just said is driving the price of lithium? Are the two connected with what's happening with this sort of land grab that's going on? Or is the price of lithium something to do with something completely different and a different dynamic within the market?
Well, I think we've had two lithium spikes. Previous spike back in 2017, 2018, where the price went up a lot and Australian producers turned on the taps and increased their supply from the hard rock mines. And then the prices dropped off because the demand wasn't there. Now we've seen this lithium spike, which has come from appears to be real demand coming through, and the excess supply is just not there. So that's why we've got this high price. I think everyone's sure that the price we're at now is not going to maintain forever, but it's here for a good few months to come, maybe 1 year, 2 years, who knows? And then the price will reestablish at a rate which supply demand will allow.
Hmm. The other thing, of course, is when talking about any mining company, we always look at location when assessing risk. If you're going to be an investor in a business, and of course, when you're a relatively safe location like the States, it does, I guess, put you at an advantage to other players in the market. Um, how much of a valuable asset is this, it being in the US?
I think that's the key thing to our story. We are US located in Arizona and Nevada, some of the best places in the world to develop projects. From the Fraser Institute's 2020 survey, they were ranked number 1 and 2. I think the advantage we have is being in Arizona, Nevada, near to end users, Tesla Gigafactory, conversion facilities for spodumene that are popping up in the US, and being there, being able to develop our lithium projects in the US for the US market enables us to avoid that supply chain, which a lot of lithium is mined in South America or Australia and sent to China to be processed and sent on. And I think that's what makes us different from other lithium producers around the world.
It's interesting you talk about Tesla. I mean, you're still fairly early on. You're exploring essentially this asset and trying to move it ahead. Is it too early to ask yet whether you're talking to companies like Tesla in the battery field?
I think it's a little too early for us as a company, but that is something we are going to look to start doing, because it does take time to get your product specified for the end user. So it's something we're going to start looking to talk to end users to work out what they want from their product.
Let me just take a look into some more detail about what's been happening recently. As I said at the top, you've had some assay results out today, and I noticed actually the stock is up something like around about 10% today as a result, I think, of that news headline. So clearly it's been well received in the market. And just bring up a chart there showing the long-term picture from IPO to where we are at the moment, currently trading on the London market at something like around about 14, just shy of 14 pence a share. How important are these assay results to helping you push ahead and forge ahead with this project?
They're really good. We've released, this is the third lot of assays we released, and that's the end of our assays for the Basin East drill program, which we finished in November 2021. This is what we're working on now with SRK. I'm actually going out to Arizona next week with SRK to do a site visit, and this is the last sign off for SRK before they put their stamp together on our resource update, which will be due out in this quarter. And they've been really positive. They've actually given us some really good results showing that the upper clay zone at Basin East, which is the high grade portion, is thicker and further towards our deposit than we thought previously. And it's given us real confidence in our other claims, that area to the north and the west. So Basin North, Basin West extension, sorry, Basin East extension, apologies, and Basin West, where we're permitting at the moment to drill later this year. So this year is going to be about drilling up all our projects, increasing the resources, because we've got about 47 square kilometers of sedimentary assets in Arizona. Compare that to someone like American Lithium, they've got 30 square kilometers. We've only drilled a small portion of our claims, about 2%, and American Lithium's drilled about 40%, and their resources are a lot larger than ours. But we've done the geophysics at our sedimentary assets. We know the clay is there. We just need to get drilling and get proving up these results, and that's what we're doing at WikiUp right now. We started a drill program there in December, and it's going really well, and we'll have some news out on that in the not too distant future. But we know that lithium, the clay is there. We just need to get it assayed and then get those resources out there.
Of course, when you publish data like this, it helps your case when you want to raise money. I mean, how does a company, what's 41.6 million pound market cap, how do you approach the prospect of having to raise considerable sums of money? We have not spoken about how much you intend to raise or how much it's going to cost to build the mine, but I'm assuming that the company is going to progress towards that with a view to production at some point in the future.
Yes, well, we listed at around about 16 million pounds last July, and we're up at now 41 million. So we've had a really good start to our life as a listed company. As I said, we haven't drilled our pegmatites, we haven't drilled our brines, we've only drilled 2% of our sedimentary assets. So I think once we start demonstrating to the market our resource increases over this year, and what's at our pegmatites and our brine assets, then our market cap is going to grow as well. And that's going to enable us to raise the quantums which we'll need at some point, as you said, for developing an operation. But that is quite a few years down the line. Right now, we just need to prove up these resources and get going on the early stage technical studies to enable us to move into an operational phase.
Okay, so what milestones should we be watching out for as we move into this next phase?
Well, this first quarter is the resource update at our Basin East project. And then we've got our maiden resource kind of come from our WikiUp project in Q2. And then we have the results from our pegmatites in Q3. And the pegmatites are very exciting because The market really understands pegmatites and brines. It's still getting its head around clay assets because it is a developing field. And if we demonstrate to the market our pegmatite is a viable operation and has viable potential to be made into an operation, then that could really affect our valuation dramatically, because we've done some geophysics at the pegmatite, and it's demonstrated that our thesis about the asset being similar to Limetown's Kathleen Valley, it's got some really good grounds for that. And so we're doing a drill program in Q2, which is testing how far the roots our pegmatites go into the rock, into the ground. And following that, we will be able to plan a large drill program. And that's what a fundraise may be for later in the year, potentially, if we need to drill out that project. But that is some exciting news to come. And if we demonstrate that pegmatite is viable, then that's really exciting for us as a company. For me as a geologist, it's a very exciting asset. And then also we have our brines, which we had some really good results out earlier in the week too. We released from our Eureka asset that we've done a magnetotelluric survey and also a shallow geophysics survey. So the magnetotelluric survey, or MT survey, has shown us that there is a brine reservoir at depths between 300 and 2,000 meters with a 12-kilometer strike. So that's really exciting as well. We'll need to test that and drill that later in the year. We've also done a shallow survey, which has shown us we've got clay at surface at our Eureka project, similar to what we have at our basin Wickiup. So that could be a clay and brine project. So there's a lot going on for the company. And this year is going to be a big year for us. Results from our pegmatites and brines demonstrating the viability and resource growth at our sedimentary assets.
As you say, lots going on. Look, Charles, it's a pleasure. Thanks indeed for this time to be able to talk to you. Clearly, you're a busy man. And we look forward to hearing more from the company as it publishes more details. That's Charles FitzRoy. He's Chief Executive of Bradda Head Lithium. For more videos from us here at IGTV, join us on Twitter at IGCom, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.